Ukraine claims to have killed or injured 1,580 Russian soldiers in the last day, just hours after Vladimir Putin's forces launched a massive drone attack believed to have been the biggest of the war so far. Kyiv's general staff also claimed that Ukraine had destroyed 14 Russian tanks, 48 armored vehicles, and an air defense system. The news comes after the Ukrainian Air Force said Tuesday that Russia launched 188 drones against most regions of Ukraine in a nighttime blitz. It described it as a record number of drones deployed in a single attack. A video has shown the insane moment that a unit of Russian armor was destroyed in a devastating attack by Ukrainian troops. The infantry fighting vehicle, IVF, was dealt with by the 414th Strike Drone Regiment. Video recorded of the strike shows the vehicle burst into flames, as with smoldering debris left in its wake. The Ukrainian army has expertly deployed relatively low-cost FPV drones to target vehicles and ordnance deployed by Russian President Vladimir Putin since he launched a full-scale invasion of the country in February 2022. The devices are flown over weapons or troops and drop fatal explosives on the targets below. Meanwhile, in western Russia's Kursk Oblast, currently the locus of the fighting, around 20,000 Ukrainian troops are struggling to hold back at least 50,000 Russians, as well as thousands of North Koreans. In southern Donetsk Oblast in eastern Ukraine, a few battalions of exhausted Ukrainian regulars, each with no more than 400 soldiers, are desperately trying to avoid encirclement by a division of Russian motor rifle troops. The balance of forces in this sector might be 5-1 in favor of the Russians. But in Kupiansk, a frontline city in Kharkiv Oblast in northeastern Ukraine, it's the Ukrainians who may have the momentum. The Khortytsia Operational Strategic Group, which oversees the approximately 10 Ukrainian brigades in and around Kupiansk, claimed its troops pushed back Russian infiltrators on Tuesday. Advancing under the cover of intensive bombardment, Russian assault groups, apparently from the 25th Motor Rifle Brigade, entered the city of 27,000 2 weeks ago. But attacking is always more resource-intensive than defending, and whatever advantages in people and equipment the Russians had in the area weren't enough to cement their gains in Kupiansk. In what may be best described as a desperate Hail Mary, Russian troops attempted to flank Kupiansk's defenders by crossing the Oskil River in boats. The Ukrainians defeated this maneuver too. It helps that the Khortytsia OSG still includes one experienced brigade that hasn't been dismantled by Russian attacks or split up and dispersed by Ukrainian commanders desperate to reinforce Kursk and Donetsk. The 14th Mechanized Brigade is one of the more skilled units of the Ukrainian ground forces, explained Military Land, a collective that tracks changes to the Ukrainian force structure. The brigade rides in an eclectic mix of armored vehicles, including modern Ukrainian-made T-84 Oplat tanks and even newer captured Russian T-72B3s. Tanks from the Ukrainian 4th National Guard Brigade, possibly up-armored 1970s vintage T-72Bs, have also been active along the Kupiansk axis. In one recent video circulated by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, one of the Guard tanks engaged entrenched Russian troops at point-blank range, firing steadily with its 125mm cannon as it slowly rolled away from the trench. Its crew clearly counting on constant movement to complicate any return fire. The liberation of Kupiansk is rare good news for Kiev's outnumbered and outgunned army as the winter sets in and U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's January inauguration looms. Trump has vowed to end the war in Ukraine. His proposal to freeze the front line in place would cede to Russia more than 10% of Ukrainian territory,